lives. And I probably have never been so excited since 1998 as I am today to share with you a product called Trim Tea that is going to change a lot of lives. So I'm a wife, just my husband. We have 2 sons, Jim and Mike, and we have 5 grandchildren. And so we really love the family life, and this Trim Tea is going to change a lot of families also. So that's a little bit about myself. And so this afternoon, I'm going to share with you guys this amazing product called Trim Tea, which you can see is a weight management and metabolic balancer. So Trim Tea only has 2 ingredients, and those 2 ingredients are black tea extract and African mango seed. And so when you look at, that's the tea leaf, and this is African mango seed. And so you can see the African mangoes hanging on the trees, just full of this fruit that has so many powerful health benefits to it. The great thing about Trim Tea is you can drink it hot or cold. It doesn't matter. If you like it stronger, don't add so much water. If you like it not as strong, add more water. And so I hear all the time, so what does the Trim Tea taste like? Well, I love it hot, and it really just like warms you up. It is very smooth. It really doesn't hardly have any taste at all. I usually drink mine at 11 o'clock. You drink it about a half an hour to an hour before your largest meal. So that's what I love it. I love it hot. Winter's coming. Now, some of you may love it cold, and it doesn't matter because the results are the same. So black tea extract, which is Camellia sinensis, is the world's most popular beverage. So think of all the people you know that in today's world, they're drinking tea. Half of all Americans drink tea every day. Half of us. And 80% of all tea that is consumed is black tea. 87% of the millennials drink tea. 87%. So wow, we already know that people love black tea. And black tea has so many health advantages to it. Number one, it's, of course, we already talked about its popularity and its regulatory acceptance. We don't have to worry about any side effects, anything. It's a refreshing beverage that can be served hot or cold, can be adjusted to suit the individual's taste. It's very well recognized with health benefits that are supported by science. Has a good safety record, and black tea is also full of healthy substances called polyphenols. And polyphenols are antioxidants that can help protect your cells from DNA damage. So sometimes people are like, well, what's an antioxidant do? And I always say, that rusting on your car, that's from oxidation. So an antioxidant stops oxidation. Or another great way to think of it is, once you cut that apple in half and it's white in the beginning, it begins to brown. That's oxidation. So if we don't stop oxidation in our bodies, we're going down the road to some things that we probably don't want with health challenges. So taking antioxidants are very, very, very beneficial to our health. And Trim Tea is processed in Germany in a state-of-the-art extraction facilities. It has no major allergens. The black tea extract has no major allergens. It's gluten-free, and it's non-GMO. So, wow, we have the best manufacturer that's making our black tea extract. There's no major allergens. And when we talk about the extract, I want you to think the extract from black tea is way more powerful, and it also is easier for the body to absorb. So it's like I tell people, it's like black tea sort of on steroids because it's the extract, which is, again, way more powerful. So now that's the first ingredient that is in Trim Tea. And the second ingredient is African mango. And I have to tell you, one of my friends just got back from Africa. She travels a lot. And when she saw Trim Tea on my Facebook page and she saw that there was African mango in it, she was like, I don't need to hear anymore, because in Africa, that is the healthiest thing that everybody eats. So she already knew about African mango. But for some of us, it may be a newer fruit for us. And so African mango is a common food in West African cuisine. It's like the ugbono soup, and we always laugh because I'd never heard of ugbono soup, but we'll probably taste it someday. It's observed that people who included African mango in their diet had favorable metabolic parameters, and that's really what we're looking for. There was a study that used the mouse fat cells that provided evidence that the seed extract can inhibit fat cell production. Wow, that's a big deal here. When we look at the amount of obesity in the United States, if we could help fat production, the fat cell production, we're going to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives. So the human study then confirmed and expanded upon the health benefits of African mango seed. So once they began studying it, they even found more benefits in the human body from the African mango seed. And one of them is this African mango seed inhibits adipogenesis. So what is adipogenesis? That is really the beginning of a new fat cell. So if we can stop these new fat cells from developing, I want you to think of the difference that's going to make in everybody's health. Because as we age, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, it seems like those fat cells develop easier and easier. So that is a major help to everyone when they're trying to lose weight. And this is a patented product. Well Trim, you'll see the little R is patented, and the form is IGOB 131. So it is, again, the African mango extract. So it's not just the fruit, just like black tea. It's not black tea, but it's the extract. And so is this the extract. This is the only certified authentic, and you'll see GRAS, which means generally regarded as safe, affirmed standardized extract of the African mango. And it's also known as Ervinga gaboensis seed, and that's just the scientific name. But so we have the best patented African mango extract that there is. It holds patented health claims, and it's clinically tested in double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. And that is a really big deal when you're looking at nutrients and you're looking at the effects and are they real or not. When you can have a double-blind, placebo-controlled study, now you know that it holds validity to it. But what they found is it targets multiple metabolic pathways that are involved in weight management. And so one of the things that it affects is leptin. And leptin is a key hormone that affects our weight. So leptin, I want you to think of leptin as it creates satiety for you, or again, stops you from being hungry all the time. So leptin is produced by fat cells. But this leptin crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it binds to the receptors in the hypothalamus region of the brain. And leptin tells us to stop eating. But overweight and obese people have increased levels of inflammation. And this inflammation is called C-reactive protein. And that inflammation, guys, is everywhere in the body. It's a big marker for heart disease. And C-reactive protein, this inflammation, binds to your leptin and prevents it from crossing the blood-brain barrier. Therefore, the signal to stop eating is blocked. What does that mean? It means you are hungry all the time. So this is a great little example of what happens. So when we have too much C-reactive protein, or remember that's inflammation, it inhibits our leptin. And so if you look at this little diagram, because it inhibits the leptin, the brain says, I'm hungry, and we're going to go eat another hamburger. And your waist measurement keeps going up. And again, because we have so much C-reactive protein, it blocks our leptin, and the brain continues to say, I'm hungry, and we got to get another snack, we got to get another snack, and our waist measurement continues to go up. And so what happens is when you take the Well Trim, it reduces the C-reactive protein, which now enhances the leptin function. So now when we take Trim Tea, now we've reduced the C-reactive protein. Now the brain receives the leptin, and leptin says, I'm full. The brain says, I'm full. I don't need a hamburger. I don't need any more chips. I don't need any more junk. And my waistline continues to go down. And again, you just keep going in that cycle. So now, as your C-reactive protein continues to drop, the brain becomes more leptin sensitive, and the brain releases, again, leptin that tells the rest of the body, I'm full. I don't need any more. And in fact, once you get on WellTrim, that is one of the first things that you see is you're like, wow, I am not hungry. I am full. I can only eat half as much as I used to. So that is one of the first signs that most people see once they've started drinking the WellTrim. So when we look at, again, the clinical trials that resulted, again, when we talked about reducing C-reactive protein, we don't talk about reducing it a little bit. It was reduced by 51.7%. That is a huge amount. So again, even when you're thinking of pain anywhere in your body, that is C-reactive protein. And when you drop that, that has huge health benefits all over the body. But again, of course, now you become leptin sensitive. And now adiponectin, which is another hormone that's made by fat cells. And studies demonstrated show low levels of adiponectin being a risk factor for cardiovascular and obesity complaints. But this inhibition of adiponectin may be a means by which obesity may result in blood sugar concerns or cardiovascular decline. So the biggest risk is in the deposition of visceral adiposity, which of course is your waist measurement. Remember this, your wellness can be determined by your waist measurement. So when we can drop the fat around our waist, that begins to bring wellness to that entire body. So efforts to raise adiponectin signaling from the fat cells is considered protective in obesity and risk factors that are associated with excess fatness. So again, raising the adiponectin levels is a huge benefit. So it plays a role in controlling blood sugar levels. Adiponectin levels are lower in obese people than in lean people. And blood sugar levels normally improve as our adiponectin levels rise. Wow. How many people do we know that have blood sugar issues, that are type 2 diabetes, that are, again, just have high blood glucose levels? So when we raise this adiponectin, it begins to change the blood sugar levels. In fact, WellTrim, remember that's the patented African mango, increases adiponectin levels not by a little, but by 159%. And so that's over the baseline versus the placebo. 159% is a huge percentage. And so what else happens is the blood glucose levels now decreased by 22.5% in our controlled group, which again is like amazing. So think of all the benefits that we've already learned here. And so this is literally the study below that you see here in the lipids and health and disease, and that is all about raising this adiponectin levels. So another thing that WellTrim does, it inhibits this G3-PDH, which is an enzyme that's involved in converting blood sugar to fat. So this is a major offender in the battle against fat. And less is better here. We want to stop the conversion of blood sugar into fat. So get this one now. WellTrim helps inhibit this enzyme by 71.6% compared to the control group. And because of that now, we reduce the fat production by 80.9%. Wow, that's a big difference. 80.9% reduction in fat production. So a huge difference. So this is a chart of the double-blind study that was done. And you can see the WellTrim group and you can see the placebo group. You also notice that in this study, the participants weighed a little over 200 pounds. It was a 10-week study. Also, the average amount of food that they ate was 2,700 calories, which is quite a bit. So when you look at what happened in 10 weeks to these people that weighed a little over 215 pounds, they lost 28 pounds in 10 weeks, and they lost 6.3% body fat in 10 weeks. So I want you to think that, wow, that body fat really also determines your waist measurement. So they probably lost a good 4 to 5 inches in their waist, if not 6 inches. So this is a huge study that, again, brings credibility. It's not we think that this is what the product does. It's we know this is what the product does. Compared to when you look at the placebo group, 50 participants, and they only lost 1.5 pounds, and they lost 1.9% body fat. That's a huge difference. So there's more. This product, like, it never ends with all of its health benefits. So WellTrim helps support cardiovascular health. And the clinical trial resulted in 26.3% reduction in total cholesterol. Wow, that's like a huge amount. And 27.2% reduction in LDL. So again, that's the loser cholesterols that we do want to reduce. So it made a huge difference in their cholesterol. So to just sort of recap what one little product does with all of its health benefits, you can see it reduced the C-reactive protein by 51.7%. The reduction in blood glucose was 22.5%. And the biggie is 80.9% reduction in fat production, 26.3% reduction in total cholesterol, and 27.2% reduction in LDL. Those are percentages that we typically never hear. They're that high. So how do we take it? Well, you'll get a box, and it's a month's supply, but we get 3 boxes. There's a little sleeve in there. You cut the end of the sleeve off. You pour it either in your cup of hot water or you pour it in your glass of cold water. And again, it's most effective. It's taken about 30 to 60 minutes before a meal, but not really required. It's just like get it in every day. And again, I take mine at 11 o'clock and I wait for 11 o'clock. I absolutely love my Trim Tea. So this is, of course, what the packaging looks like, and this is the label. And what is really cool about this label is you can see the black tea extract that we talked about, and all the health benefits that black tea has is totally amazing. But the WellTrim, something for you to know, is in the study, they used 150 milligrams. In our Trim Tea, we have 300 milligrams. We have double what the study says. So we are really excited as to what this product is really going to do for all of us. And what do we really love about it? It's totally affordable. So when you purchase your Trim Tea, you'll get a 90-day supply, which is 3 boxes. And what do I love about it? It's $1.33 a day. What do I really love about it? It's $1.33 a day. Guys, you know what? People spend more than that on their water, or they definitely spend more than that on a can of pop or some chips or something bad. And so I love the price because it's something that you can be on the rest of your life, because none of us want our C-reactive protein, our cholesterol levels, or our body to begin to again produce fat cells.